How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. This is the final countdown for the ETFs, for the Blackrock ETF, ARK ETF. We're getting final forms, and let me tell you, Blackrock just declared war on everyone else. I also want to cover what's happening in the market because a lot of cryptos are bleeding, and I want to give some information about an e-commerce company, a pretty big one too, one of the largest in the country that's actually accepting Bitcoin for payment. If you don't mind, hit subscribe, turn on the bell notification underneath the video so you can see future videos just like this one as soon as I post them, because the ETF decision is coming in the next 2 days, one way or the other, and I'm going to be posting a video as quickly as I can on that. So hit the bell notification. Also, while you're down there, there is a link to Margex where you can trade cryptocurrency. There's no VPN, there's no KYC. It's very quick to set up. You can use all different forms of collateral. You can long crypto, you can short crypto. It's powered by TradingView, which means it's really nice to look at. It's really nice to chart TA on it. Also, all deal indicators are on screen. You don't have to scroll, which is kind of annoying when you can't see the price of Bitcoin. It can be important to see everything without having to move much in crypto. You can use all different kinds of collateral, and you can refer other people too in case you want. If you have some big trader in the family or a friend or something, you can get some of their fees. So check that out underneath the video. There's also a link to Blowfin. I think it makes sense to have multiple exchanges set up, and Blowfin is another newer exchange that I think could be really beneficial to have in your back pocket for the next bull run. Both of those give some deposit bonuses too that can be used towards fees. HGAaccess is also underneath the video. We've been posting so many winners in there. We had a 10x the other day that we talked about a couple times too. Also, we had Altcoin Hero, who's a bit of a smaller creator on YouTube, smaller as in 5,000 subscribers, but he posted about ALF, and it's up 70% since his alpha report just a few days ago. So if you want access to information that you won't get anywhere else, there's a link to that underneath the video. Now, we just got news about BlackRock's ETF fee structure. They will have 0.3% as their new filed S1 states. This is much cheaper than we predicted. This is coming from a Bloomberg analyst that's been covering a lot of this information. He said life just got a lot tougher for everyone else. The ETF terror dome is no joke. Now, I don't know what a terror dome is, but what he's saying basically is that it's getting a lot harder because we're having a race to the bottom on fees. Now, for you and me, that's great because we don't have to pay as much in fees if we want to hold our Bitcoin in an ETF. But for the companies, they have set costs. So when they lower the fees, obviously they're just taking it from their bottom line. Now, they're doing that because they want inflows. They are trying to be as competitive as possible. And this is how it breaks down now. ARK lowered their fees after BlackRock, like 20 minutes after. They sent in their form and they lowered it to 0.25. Van Eck has 0.2 for the initial 5 billion, then 0.3%. I remember someone saying that they had 0 for the first 5 billion, but maybe I'm remembering that wrong. BlackRock has 0.3%, Fidelity has 0.39, Invesco 0.59, all the way to Wisdom Tree at 0.95. I think it's going to be really hard for anyone with fees this high to get inflows, especially when you have some of the biggest names in the industry like Fidelity and BlackRock being 0.3 and 0.39, and also a lot of people know ARK Invest. So I think that these people are going to get the majority of inflows, at least over time. These are going to be what's added to retirement accounts, and these are going to have a tougher time. Supposedly, like I said a few videos ago as well, BlackRock has billions of dollars lined up waiting for this. So let's say they get $2 billion worth of inflows. That is still a significant amount of cash. Let's break that down. That's still about $6 million a year that they'll make, and that's just the beginning, in my opinion. So we are having a race to the bottom on fees. Obviously, like I said, that's good for us. The weekly crypto asset fund flow report, this is what comes out every single week that shows who's buying what cryptos, and this is coming from big institutions, Grayscale, CoinShares, ProShares, Purpose Investments, those types of things. We saw inflows in Bitcoin specifically of 112 million. We've seen a lot of inflows recently. I mean, you can see up here, like just a ton of money coming into crypto. And as you can see here, most of it going into Bitcoin, a good amount actually going into Ethereum, which we haven't seen in a while. I mean, we've seen some inflows for Ethereum, but it was kind of a mixed year last year. Multi-asset, 5.4 million. Solana, actually a decent amount came out of, 5.3 million. Then a little bit coming out of short Bitcoin and a little bit going into Cardano, Avalanche, XRP, which is kind of interesting. Again, 3.7 million going into Cardano. We only saw AUM, we see overall AUM at 64 million. So that's a big inflow. Maybe some institutions are rebalancing their crypto portfolios going into the bull run. We also got news from e-commerce giant Mercari to allow Bitcoin payments from June. Mercari is one of the largest Japanese e-commerce platforms, and they're going to allow users to purchase their flea market app listed products using Bitcoin starting in June. This is a pretty big company. I mean, they had about a $20 million profit for the third quarter, so I mean, nothing close to Amazon. I mean, I guess you have to look at their revenue really, because some of the time these companies, even Amazon, hides how much they're really making by reinvesting in themselves, getting more warehouses, that kind of stuff, buying more servers, buying more land, that kind of thing. So it's hard to tell exactly, but it is one of the larger companies, one of the larger e-commerce companies in Japan, and they are pretty tech savvy over there. So this is a nice step in the right direction. Now, I think we should keep in mind with the ETF decision this week, there's going to be a lot of volatility. There's going to be a lot of talk about Bitcoin. We have to remember, we have to watch what people are doing, not what they're saying. Jamie Dimon, Bitcoin is a fraud. I've always been opposed to crypto. If I were a government, I'd close it down. And then they become an authorized participant for Blackrock and Valkyrie. So they want in, everyone wants in. That's something that's really interesting about how this ETF works out. There are so many large companies now that have a vested interest in how well Bitcoin does. There are a lot of different takes on whether this is going to destroy Bitcoin's price or pump it to the moon. Personally, I think it's going to be better for the price than not. But keep in mind that we're going to have a lot of different takes now. And there's just going to be a lot of vested interest from Wall Street in Bitcoin. Bitcoin dominance is spiking up as well. This is the last thing I want to close on. You can see here, we broke back above this trend line, and now we're facing, or we're getting pretty close to the all-time, I don't want to say all-time highs because Bitcoin dominance used to be much higher, but the recent highs on Bitcoin dominance, the 52-week highs. We're right around 54.15, and the max is 55.25. I'd be watching this. Again, this is what I am paying attention to because I'm bullish in crypto, but I want to know where always to put my money, where it's got the biggest bang for the buck. As you can see here, we had some prior support around 57.2%. So that's kind of where I'm looking at being a possible top. I have started to invest in some altcoins though, I've talked about on the channel, but I'm still largely Bitcoin. Now, one of the altcoins I bought recently actually went up 10x. We took profits on it as well. Talked about in the Patreon. If you want access to that information, again, there's a link to my Patreon underneath the video and to HGAaccess. They're different. I don't talk about my buys and sells in HGAaccess, but we do videos on both of them. HGAaccess has a lot of alpha calls. There's a lot of wealthy individuals there that you can get information from and talk to. And we have once a week live streams over there compared to my Patreon where we do every day. We do a video kind of updating you on the market. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I will see you in the next video. Bye.